Good afternoon, everybody. It's Martin S51989 here once again. Now, at the end of the last video, I was originally going to do my comparison of two different versions of Aladdin, but I'm going to still continue to hold off on doing that for one more video. Because last night was week 2 of the semifinals of America's Got Talent, and 12 more acts had performed, so therefore I'm going to be giving my review and the scoring system. And before I can start, I can also say, all I can say is, what a show it was last night. So, as we had some great fun things, so let's get down to the reviews. And first up last night was Tan Ridley, who, if you don't know who Tan Ridley is, you know she is the mother of movie star Gabourey Sidibe, just to let you know. That's right, Tan Ridley was first, and she performed. She sang her great soulful rendition of Whitney Houston's Oscar-nominated song "I Have Nothing," which that song is from the movie The Bodyguard. That's right. She sang Nothing, and it was pretty fantastic. Even the judges liked it, and I know she's been a big favorite since the beginning. So Tan Ridley and what a way to start the night off. So Tan Ridley gets a perfect 10 out of 10. Next up was Haspop. He was a dancer, and yep, he did some dancing and used some more crazy things and often stunts. Even one of the brief bits they heard while dancing was to MC Hammer's "You can't touch this." That's right, you can't touch this. This, of course, unfortunately, Piers ended up getting buzzed, because Piers ended up buzzing him for something near the end. So, and because of that, Haspop only gets a 6 out of 10. I mean, he is such a great dancer, but I don't think he'll make it through to the top 10. Okay, next up after that was Maestro Alexander Bui, and he performed a little bit mix of the classical and pop thing by doing a thing called the Bumblebee Boogie, which had them playing the classical piece, The Flight of the Bumblebee, and adding Boogie Woogie into it. Of course, The Flight of the Bumblebee was no stranger to this season, because we know that was the same song that harmonica Pierre played on his harmonica at his audition. But we know, Pierre got eliminated in the wild card. So yeah. But Maestro Alexander Bui, well, he also got buzzed, but it's one of these acts that's not buzzed by Piers, because Howie ended up buzzing his buzzer, so he ended up buzzing him because of that. But at least Piers liked the act, and Sheridan was in between. But so Maestro Alexander Bui gets a 6 out of 10. Next up after that were the aerialists, Michael LePerry and Ashley Dejan. And they did some more aerial acts, and this time they set to the song to Leona Lewis's big hit, Bleeding Love. And if you don't know who Leona Lewis is, you remember she was the British singer who won the 3rd season of the popular UK singing competition, The X Factor. Which, The X Factor, that's the UK counterpart of American Idol. But of course, from Michael and Ashley, they did great. The judges even had some praise, but I did like their act, and I gave them a good score, but it wasn't a perfect score. So Michael and Ashley get 9 out of 10. Next, the next act I performed after that was Michael Grasso, and he is a magician, and he did a fantastic magic trick, because he put a woman in the cage, and Michael put it down. He did put the cloak to make sure it wasn't revealed, and when he removed the thing, the woman was gone briefly, but then someone else removed it, and it turned out to be the woman, which meant Michael had magically appeared someplace else, and that act was so fantastic, and he even gave Sharon a rose at the end of the act, that magic was super fantastic indeed to do illusion. He is great at illusions and great with woman. I think he's probably one of the best magicians we've ever seen on this show, period. So Michael Grasso gets a perfect 10 out of 10. Okay, and next up after that was singer Deborah Romer, and this time she took a big risk. She didn't have the guitar this time. She just sang with a mic, and she sang her rendition of Bob Dylan's song "To Make You Feel My Love," which, while my mom says it may have been one of Deborah's best performances, the judges had some criticism. They said it was probably not one of Deborah's best, but that was the downside. The upside was, however, that she did not get buzzed, so I don't think Deborah will make it, but at least she did alright. So Deborah Romer gets a modest score of 7 out of 10. Okay. Then the next act after that was the only dance crew that's left in the competition, that being the Studio One Young Beast Society. They did an X more dancing moves, and they were pretty good as a group and to more of the hip hop style dances and all that, and they really, once again, they have pulled it off, and they're pretty good, and they're a great dance crew, and they love. Some people might love it when they do those moves. So Studio One Young Beast Society, perfect score, 10 out of 10. Next act after that was a danger act, and it was the extreme cyclist Jeremy VanSchoonhoven. Now, in his rehearsal, he had a little accident and he injured some things, but when he performed live, the injuries weren't the big thing here. As this act was dangerous, but he was able to pull it off, and it was kind of like more like the national park scene that he said it. And the song he chose was, set to it being Taio Cruz's big hit song, Dynamite. Or as Jimmy Walker, and for me, as Good Time Spencer say it, that Jeremy VanSchoonhoven's act was Dynamite! Yes, so that's good. So Jeremy VanSchoonhoven also is great. So he too gets a perfect 10 out of 10. Okay, the next act after that, was singer Nathaniel Cannon, and he chose a song. I know I've heard this on the radio, but I can't remember who sings it nor what the title of the song was, but at least he did alright. Piers ended up buzzing him though, so he said it was not one of his best performances, and I don't think Nathaniel's gonna go through, so Nathaniel Cannon only gets a 6 out of 10 for that. The next act after that was Murray. That's right, Murray Sawchuk, though he's now simply known as Murray. And he did a magic act which he had a big train on the stage. He used it and he covered it up, and then at the end of the act, the train was gone. Of course, Mike Murray was chatting about this act and describing a lot, but he did not get buzzed though. They had some things, but at least one person did like the act of all this, so I'm not too sure whether Murray will go through or not, because we know Murray's magic was probably not as good as Michael's early in the show, but at least he still did great in the Murray still did great in the quarterfinals with that tiger thing and all that. So Murray Sawchuk, he gets an 8 out of 10 for that. Still good, but probably not good enough. Then the next act after that was the young 10-year-old child opera singer Jackie Evancho, who we saw in YouTube. Because in YouTube she had sung Puccini's "O mio bambino caro" from Gianni Schini, and that gave praise. And her popularity even continued in last night. So, because last night she sang the song "Come to Party." That's how it is in Italian, but the English title is more better known, that being she sang "Time to Say Goodbye," which we know that song. It was also once one of the songs that Andrea Bocelli had recorded. At least he does sing it as well, but we know Jackie Evancho, she really did sing that song perfectly, and it was great. Of course, there was the last note that she yelled. It was wrong, and I think she yelled it for too long. But that doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't affect it much. So, but still, Evancho, she is great to sing that song, and she's only a young kid, but she has the proper good voice of an angel. So she could pretty much more likely be the next Charlotte Church. But so Jackie Evancho gets a perfect 10, and last but not least, I think this was the best act of the night, and it was the best way to end it. It was that the fraternity brother thing and all that, the group Fighting Gravity. They did an excellent act. They even used some big objects and that they've even floated over, and they have a unique talent because they are glow-in-the-dark dancers, and with all this acts and all the music that they dance to, with all this with glow-in-the-dark, they really are a cool Vegas show, and I think they are one of the biggest acts that probably has the biggest potential to win the competition. So for that, Fighting Gravity, they get a perfect score of 10 out of 10. Now we know tonight the results show is going to be on, and we know there's 2 performances. There's going to be a performance from one of the Cirque du Soleil shows, and there's also going to be a performance from, as Jason Derulo is also going to be singing as well. So, now only 5 acts can go through, but I made a top 6, because my top 6 that I put are Alice Tan Ridley, Michael Grasso, Studio One Young Beast Society, Jeremy VanSchoonhoven, Jackie Evancho, and Fighting Gravity. And since there will be a judge's choice in this, I think the judge's choice, it's pretty much going to be between Studio One Young Beast Society and Jeremy VanSchoonhoven, because I know America is definitely going to put Alice, Michael, Jackie, and Fighting Gravity through. So there you go. But all I can say is, what a show, and in general, the variety acts really stepped it up. So this was probably one of their best nights ever. So there you go. Well, that's my review of week 2 of the semifinals for America's Got Talent. Hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my next video. This time, for sure, my next video will be the comparison of 2 different versions of Aladdin. So stick around for that.